Hey, Chucklefucks, this is Dark Raikou, back with another video of, another what if, somewhat, but different from the one I'm doing right now, but don't worry, I'm, for fuck's sakes, I'm getting my bad habit of, making multiple videos and, forgetting to actually do them, which I'm not trying to do this in, my second channel, but yeah, my first channel, I have multiple videos that I haven't finished, and there's, a hunger or something, and I'm trying not to get my bad habit in doing those, doing that. But yeah. But for right now, I am going to just do this what if and then upload it for today, while I still kind of rewatch some stuff in my first channel, some of my what ifs, and then kind of continue them on and yada yada. But not the point. Let me continue. Let me continue with this what if and all that. Or let me just say that this is what if Issei, don't remember his last name, how to say it, Hodia, whatever, was a descendant of Sparta. Now, before I go on, I should also mention that I'm kind of sick, so my throat kind of hurts, but not the point. I don't know how long I'm gonna be sick. I'm hoping it's just sick for 2 days and then going on to just do stuff. But yeah, but not the point. It's probably because I got sick from yesterday, because yesterday was so damn cold that I was just freezing like hell. But yeah, but not the point. I should also mention, if you're wondering who is Sparta, well, Sparta is from Devil May Cry 5, or, Devil May Cry, all the kind of numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty much, there's a person named Sparta in there, or mostly there's two people who has the last name of Sparta. And yeah, okay. So let me explain what Devil May Cry is. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. Also, yeah, there's those games. If you have played it, then you know what is happening, the storyline and all that. Then, if you haven't, then I'll just explain a little bit. But there's two main characters, or somewhat two characters, not really. Mostly one character that usually goes from 1, 2, 3. Mostly, yeah, 3 of the games. That's named Dante Sparta. Dante Sparta is one of the sons of Sparta. There's also his brother, who's the antagonist most of the time, who is named Virgil Sparta. And they always fight each other, and mostly kind of even fight the kind of evil of hell. Mostly the people, the demons that usually come from hell, who try to take over the human world. Of course, they always either just stops them, or mostly Dante does them. Virgil kills them off because, he needs more power and he needs to train his body to get revenge on Dante. But yeah, revenge and the fact that he's very angry at Dante most of the time, and at his mother. But yeah, but of course there's also mostly not part 4, mostly on Devil May Cry 4. There's a main character named Nero, who is the son of Virgil. Now, yeah, the son of Virgil, Nero, and that was stopping some holy churches and not trying to summon out the devil portal. But yeah, that happens. Of course, in Devil May Cry 5, you get to find out, Nero finds out that his father is Virgil, but of course Virgil does a lot of stuff and yada yada. I don't want to really go into it because it's a what if, and I'd rather go into it. But yeah, but if you want a better explanation, just go watch a video or something, because I'm not going to go fully explain it and who Virgil, Dante, or Nero is entirely. But truly, let me go into Sparta. Sparta is basically the father/grandfather of those characters. So this is where Issei is going to be a grandson descendant of Sparta. So yeah, if you really didn't hear or understand my explain, because it sucks, because my voice is kind of different and I usually don't, never mind. But of course, yeah, my voice is kind of different, but not the point. What's it called? Also, if you didn't like the explaining, but whatever, go watch a video. I don't care. Just type in Devil May Cry 4 or 5-4. It's just an explainment of Dante Sparta, Virgil Sparta, or Nero Sparta. Or just say Dante, Virgil, or Nero, because it doesn't really, you don't even need to put the Sparta last name for it. But yeah, but not the point. Let me just begin into this what if. So yeah, we go into Issei. Now Issei is still somewhat of a perverted fuck, like in original canon. That's going to change all of a sudden. But yeah, we go into kind of that whole sporting well, we kind of not go from the beginning. We go into kind of, we're going to start somewhere like when they're kind of talking about the familiars. Now, this is where, well, with Issei still being a perverted fuck, he is playing a game with the other kind of, well, devil kind of servants and all that from Soya, or whatever her name is. I think it's Soya. I actually don't remember. Mostly the girl with black hair, reddish eyes, well, short black hair, reddish eyes, and kind of the other household from the Grimory and the Phoenix. But yeah, I don't remember her last name, but yeah. Wait, sorry. But of course, not the point. Now, this is where, well, that is happening. And of course, this is where, well, Issei and the others managed to somewhat win against them in that little dodgeball kind of contest. Of course, this is where, well, Issei still got hit in the throat while he passed the fuck out. But yeah, and the other guy got hit by, well, Kirito, or whatever her goddamn name is. Mostly the white haired girl who just throw the dodgeball at his girl and he's knocked the fuck out. But yeah, of course, we go into the familiar part now. And of course, where, well, they're talking to the old man about the familiars and all that. That's where Issei is now just looking around. This is where, well, Issei saying, this is interesting. I wonder if I can get a badass familiar. Or I can get a, yeah, he's right now being perverting, yeah. Of course, this is where they kind of see a lightning dragon and ask Issei to kind of go get it, or mostly go get the familiar. But Issei wasn't entirely paying attention to them. This is where, well, Issei kind of noticed a kind of bluish bird right now flying like up in the air. This is where, well, for some reason he had a strange feeling to it. This is where he then kind of said, oh, the lightning dragon? Got it. I choose you. He was about to like do some Pokemon style on the fucking familiar, the lightning dragon. But this is where, well, green slime falls down from the sky. And this is where, well, the whole fucking scene was that whole bullshit still happening. Issei was being perverted as hell, but that's where Issei had a very strange feeling with the blue bird being in the sky right now. It seems to be circling around and even glancing at Issei for a little bit. For some reason, Issei then had a memory of, well, his past life, or not past life, a memory when he was younger. He remembers seeing someone and talk about, well, somewhat their family status and what they were a little bit. But of course, this is where Issei, when he was younger, he wasn't really paying attention, but really playing around. But yeah, this is where, well, the person kind of chuckles mostly at Issei. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei did notice, well, he remembers one time when he was looking at a picture, he remembers seeing like 3 creatures slash animals on this like photo. Of course, this is where an older man who's barely able to be seen from Issei's memories is saying, oh, you're seeing the animals. These animals were called the V familiars. This is where, well, Issei says, no wonder I feel familiar to that. This is where, well, the other girls are still screaming, which distracted him from his memories and kind of went perverted. But yeah, this is where he was still wanting the slime, but this is where the blue dragon, or lightning dragon, just fried his ass. But yeah, this is where, well, with that happening, that was all just happening. We go into kind of a time skip of, yes, when was it called, Rias tried to seduce Issei, and Issei was about to go all in there. And of course, where Grace or whatever, Grace Sound or whatever, she comes in, still tells Rias not to do that, and blah blah blah. Of course, this is where the next day happens, and of course, Rias and the mostly press or whatever were there to kind of see mostly what is happening and all that. This is where Razor, well, mostly Ryder, or Razor Rider, I don't remember his goddamn name, mostly the Phoenix, dude. The fire chicken, okay? I don't give a shit if it's a Phoenix or a fire chicken, it's the same thing for me, kind of. But of course, well, the guy's like right now just like talking a lot of shit. Of course, Issei right now kind of like did Issei stuff, yeah, and that's the best way I can explain it. I'm not gonna remember what the hell he did most of the time. I just remember he was angry and he did all that bullshit like, I'm not letting you do blah blah blah, and we were fighting all that. Of course, it's where, well, when Razor, I think his name was Ryder, decides to bring out his like peer and all that. This is where, well, one of the girls did manage to hit Issei in the stomach, and Issei was knocked the fuck out, mostly in the ceiling, and fell down back down. But yeah, this is where, well, Rias kind of said, fine, we'll take that 10-day training and all that, and do the rating games or whatever. Of course, this is where everyone was gonna do that. But the next day happens, and of course, this is where, well, Rias kind of asked, well, what's it called? Asia, yeah, Asia, something like that. Kind of asked her, and where was it called? Issei was at. This is where, well, when they were gonna go through the 10-day training thing, Asia kind of said that Issei went to go do something, and Issei will come back. But yeah, this is where, well, we go into Issei. Issei went to talk to his parents after that day of him getting ass kicked. He kind of went to kind of talk to his parents about something. This something was about someone, well, he wants to kind of visit. This is where they kind of agree for him to kind of go visit him, even though they didn't really want him. But of course, they just let him. This is where Issei visits a house, well, a very darkish, kind of big house and all that. Like the house is kind of dark and having clouds of lightning and all that. Issei said fuck it and went up there. Right now, kind of being afraid a little bit, but of course, not trying to be. Well, he kind of knocks at the door, and of course, well, no one answers. This is where, when he tries to open it, this is where it's unlocked. This is where Issei walks in. And this is where, well, Issei is looking around saying, hey, is anyone here? Damn, did I get the wrong house? I don't remember exactly where he lived. This is where, well, when he turned around, he kind of saw a man closing the door and saying, hey, Issei, it's been a while. Why are you here? This is where, well, and also make sure to close the door next time when you walk in. This is where Issei says, Davante, or Davante, that's what his name is. Issei said, this is where Davante says, oh, hey, Issei, just making sure. Why are you here? This is where Issei said, I want to talk to you. This is where Devante says, okay, then come over here to the living room. What do you want to talk about? This is where Issei, he did this all at the night and all that. But of course, it was kind of rainy at that time. And of course, Issei kind of said, I want to talk about my family. What exactly? Well, I want the history. I remember you telling me something about that when I was younger. But, you know, when I was a kid, I didn't pay attention. Devante kind of says, oh, you really want to figure out about the family now. Well, probably since you're a devil now, but yeah. Issei was winding his eyes and said, how did you... Idiot, I'm not stupid. Let's see. Where do you want to start about? Just the entire story about the beginning. Fine. We go into 20 minutes later because if you really... Okay. I'm going to explain it, but it might take just a short minute. But yeah, pretty much what Devante kind of tells Issei is about 10,000 years when the family of Issei kind of started. Mostly a man in dark knight armor was kind of named Sparta. Now, of course, his name was just Sparta, but you couldn't tell if he had a last name or not. That was just his name, Sparta. Or was it? I think his name was Violent Sparta or something. Violet? I don't remember. But of course, his name was Sparta, and of course, he was the kind of right-hand man of someone named, what's it called? Of a devil king named Mundus. Now, Mundus was, well, one of the strongest devil kings at that time, 10,000 years ago. He would have been absolutely very powerful right now in the present. But of course, where Sparta managed to betray Mundus because he didn't want to, like, destroy the human world. This is where Sparta fought against the whole army of Mundus, killing them all off. Well, not all of them, but managing to weaken Mundus' army and also seal Mundus away. This is where, well, he also said that, well, Sparta was very powerful. He was called the Black Knight, or Dark Knight. Was it Dark Knight, Black Knight? I can't remember. But of course, he was the strongest devil out of Mundus' Legion army. This is where, well, Sparta left the underworld, sealing some of his power to make sure that Mundus would never be able to escape. This is where, well, Sparta went on to live on with a human wife named Eva. Eva was a gorgeous blonde-haired woman who was captured by, well, Sparta's kind of hair. Sparta had white short hair, bluish, very bright eyes, and of course, wore some purple fancy drip clothes. But he didn't say in that kind of language, but you just get the point, right? He was the most. He was a very powerful. Still, even though he still using some of his power away, he was still very powerful as a somewhat human a little bit. But of course, they had two kids. One named Dante Sparta, and the other one named Virgil Sparta. Now, Virgil Sparta went on, or mostly both Dante and Virgil were kind of twins a little bit. Were mostly younger, but yeah, they were like 1 year younger from each other, or yeah. But this is where, well, Virgil was the oldest and Dante was the youngest a little bit, but yeah. Just split by like 1 year apart, but yeah. But of course, this is where, well, Virgil was always very stoic and very, how I should say, respectful sometimes about just his personality and all that. While Dante was basically the opposite. I think, how do you say, wait. Virgil was an introvert, while Dante was an extrovert. Mostly someone that likes always going outgoing and other things, and usually did fight a little bit with his older brother, Virgil, even though he didn't want to deal with Dante most of the time. Devante was actually telling, what's it called, Issei about this. Issei nodded. It's where, well, they grew up most of the time with mostly their mother Eva, while Sparta left. They don't know where Sparta went, but yeah. Of course, with what's it called, Virgil and Dante and even Eva kind of living in their house, the devil army managed to arise and attack them. Of course, Dante managed to kind of escape with Eva. Eva went to kind of get her oldest son from a closet that she left him there. Of course, she couldn't make it because she actually got killed, but yeah, Dante managed to leave while Virgil was left behind. Of course, over the years of them growing up, Dante became a strong devil hunter. Well, Virgil was the same, but Virgil wanted revenge on Dante for the fact that he was too, well, not revenge, mostly revenge on everything for the fact he was too weak when he was younger. He wanted power. He was desperate for power. Dante, on the other hand, wasn't that desperate for power. He was a little bit, but he only wanted power to kind of protect a little bit of what he loved, even though most of the things that he loved died. But yeah, Virgil was always alone while Dante had some people. This is where, well, after a while, after meeting each other, they managed to use different blades. While Dante had the blade of rebellion, and Virgil had the blade of Yamato. They were both very powerful blades. But of course, Sparta made 3 weapons entirely. There was, well, Yamato, a rebellion, and also, well, the last sword was called Sparta. But of course, none of them were using it at that time. Well, until Dante just decided to use it. But Virgil kept using Yamato. Now, after a while, Virgil had a child with someone that's unknown. Pretty much, I don't even know. Yeah. Of course, well, Virgil's kid was named Nero. Nero was kind of, well, not deformed. He had an arm that was called a double bringer, or yeah, double arm, double bringer, whatever. It was basically allowing him to do a lot of crazy stuff. But I should also mention that all of them did have white hair and blue eyes. This is where Issei says, really? Can I have that? This is where, well, Devante says, sure, I'll tell you how to get that. If you wanna. This is where Issei says, really? I think all the girls would like that. This is where, well, Devante says, ha, interesting. I feel like you're trying to build a harem kingdom or whatever, what the hell. No, Issei said. This is where, well, Devante says, shut up, let me tell you the story still. Of course, he continues on with the story. This is where Nero went to kind of fight against the church, which they were trying to summon out devils. But yeah, Nero managed to stop them and also get the sword, well, also a sword fragment, but, well, not a sword fragment, a sword that was called Yamato, and he was able to use it. Now, the 3 swords I mentioned, Devante said that only those with Spartan blood would be able to use them. Anyone else can barely even pick them up. That's where, well, Issei says, really? You think I'm gonna have them? Yeah, no. Let me tell you the story then. That's where Issei says, sorry. He kind of bowed down on apology, but yeah. That's where, well, Devante says, After that happening, Virgil came back after being gone for so long, took Yamato back from, well, mostly Nero, and also took his arm with him. But of course, split himself in two. Yamato has the power of splitting devil from men, meaning that he just became a full devil after that, and while leaving his human self back because he wanted power. After a while of them kind of mostly trying to find Virgil, the human side was named V, while the devil was still named Virgil. But of course, where Dante managed to defeat the devil side. Of course, V managed to manipulate the others without them even noticing that that was the human side of Virgil. Because the human side of Virgil basically had longish black hair, and of course, these black eyes. I think it was black or blue, I don't remember. But of course, well, V had the power of the human side. Magical power. I should mention they all have magical power. But of course, V was able to use these three animals you see in that picture. That's where, well, Issei turns around to see the picture. It's shown to have three different creatures. A creature that looks like a golem. The middle, well, mostly a kind of flying creature that looks like a blue bird. And then the last one looks to be like a panther. A black kind of cat. A panther. It looks like that. That's where, well, Issei says, whoa, wait. The blue bird he noticed. I think I've seen that. Devante says, really? It might be in the familiar world. That's where Issei says, how do you know about that? I'm not an idiot, kid. Also, did you not pay attention that basically our descendants, or mostly our ancestor, our great-great-grandfather, is basically a devil. A devil kind of knight from the Devil King named Madanian. This is where, well, Issei says, oh, I forgot that part. Idiot, Devante kind of said. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on with the story. Okay, fine. With, well, the defeating of Virgil the devil, and V managed to manipulate the others to thinking that he wanted to kill the devil one by his own hands. Pretty much V managed to use his power, his magical power, to reunion himself with Virgil, the devil side. The human side with the devil side, making them back in whole. Now, if you want to know what Virgil kind of looks like, Devante's kind of said, here, there's a picture of all three of them there. Pretty much this is how Virgil kind of looks like. Well, it's not the background that they were in. They were mostly kind of like sitting down a little bit. So this is Dante, this is Nero, and this is Virgil. But yeah, this is a better picture, but yeah. But of course, with them being there, this is where Issei says, that, they look awesome. Yeah, that's where Devante says, yeah, so sad you didn't get the looks at them. At least I was the one to get the looks. Now, I should mention how Devante kind of looks like. He has longish black hair, similar to like Dante. And of course, instead of having, well, what's called bluish eyes like Dante, he has them kind of orangey red. Does it work? Well, if you know who Devante is a descendant from, yes, he's a descendant of Dante. But yeah, I'll mention how that would work. This will work. Well, you think I'm gonna be looking like them? Probably not. You're too ugly. Devante kind of said. This will work. Well, Issei kind of gets hurting. Oh, your dick. This is where Devante says, well, too bad, brat. Now shut the fuck up. I'm going back into the story. Okay, fine. After Virgil managed to come back, he fought against his brother Dante, but decided to let him heal. He wanted to fight Dante at his best. Now, of course, with Dante, he managed to get a very powerful ability by stabbing himself with, well, rebellion. Rebellion allows him to kind of awaken his devil side called Sin Devil Trigger. Now, there's Devil Trigger and there's Sin Devil Trigger, but yeah. Now, of course, Devil Trigger is a very trick and how to be able to awaken, but yeah. It's mostly you gotta be feeling a lot of emotions, but yeah. And Sin Devil Trigger, you just gotta stab yourself with rebellion. That's a word. Well, Issei said, I don't really want to stab myself. Do I have to do that? Well, how else are you gonna become powerful? Issei said, okay, yes, I understand. This is where, oh. So, well, yeah, the one kind of says, so, with that happening, they fought against each other on a giant freaking tree that, well, Virgil was the one to summon. And, of course, then they sealed it away because they went into the devil world and slaughtered all the devils that were there. Of course, Nero went to live on, but yeah, Nero did actually be able to awakened double trigger and fought against both of them. Now his double trigger was much more powerful than both of their double trigger, but yeah, but not that experienced. So yeah, this is where Issei says, "Wow," and there's where I came from. Which descendant am I from? Well, you're from Virgil's side. Wait, what? You mean the guy with slick hair? Yep. Which descendant are you from? Are you the same? This is where Dante says, "No, of course not, idiot. I'm from the good-looking guy." He kind of points at Dante and says, "Don't you see?" This is where Issei says, "Damn, I can't believe Dante got an ugly ass, well, descendant." This is where, Dante says, "I'm gonna kill you, Brad." Issei says, "Eh." This is where, Dante says, but still, Issei, you're basically an Issei, whatever you say his last name. He says, "Your name is Issei Sparta." Well, I mean, you can still keep the name, that name, whatever, but Sparta will sound better, don't you think? Issei says, "I guess so." So wait, how would I be able to awaken the power of being a devil hunter? Oh, that's gonna be the best part. When I train about it? Issei says, "Fine." This is where Dante says, "Also, you can definitely use your red dragon emperor whatever bullshit arm." This is where Issei says, "How do you know that?" "I'm not an idiot, kid." Bonked Issei in the head. And this is where Issei says, "Ow, son of a bitch! You don't need to bonk me in the head." "Do you want to train or not?" This is where, Issei says, "Yeah, I gotta get stronger. I gotta protect those that I love." This is where, Devante says, "Those that you love," doesn't sound something like what Virgil would do. This is where, Issei say, "Okay, fine, what do you want me to say? Fuck everyone and let me just become an emo bastard?" Sounds better. This is where Issei say, "Whatever." So of course we go into 10 days later. This is where Rias was pretty just annoyed with Issei for the fact that she couldn't summon herself where Issei was. She was getting blocked. Her signal was getting blocked, and finding where Issei was at was also getting blocked. So of course 10 days passed, and this is where Rias thought that she was going to lose. She managed to train the others, but of course she also managed to train what's it called, Asia, but she didn't know where Issei was, and she needed to train him because he had the Red Dragon Emperor ability. He wasn't there. This is where, Soya and the others, mostly they come through, mostly the vice president and the president, whatever, council president, whatever the hell. This is where, Soya says, "Are you ready with all your 4 pieces? Or 5? Where's your 5th one? Where's the Issei kid?" This is where he says, "I don't know. I haven't seen him." This is where behind the doors walks through a man with kind of like brownish white, silverish hair. Whitish silverish hair. And of course, not through the door, was mostly kind of laying upon some bookshelves. This is where, this person says, "What do you mean? She has all 5 pieces. I'm here." This is where Rias kind of opened her eyes and widened her eyes near where the bookshelves are at. But of course, it was kind of near the dark corner, and since the lights weren't that turned on, the only thing that you can see was one blue eye and one green eye, which Rias thinks that is confusing. But of course, this is where, the person then gets off of the bookshelves and walks towards Rias. And this is where, when the light managed to shine upon his face, his hair was kind of whitish and brownish at the same time. Mostly purely dominating white hair, with his brown hair kind of being a briny dare. Now, of course, where, he wasn't wearing what's it called, regular or uniform clothes or just clothes in general. He was wearing what's it called, something very fancy as fuck. He was basically wearing what Virgil would wear in anything, but this is how it looks like. Pretty much, this is what he's wearing. He's wearing a black coat like this, and basically, he's wearing like a black kind of shirt with black pants. But yeah, this is where Issei doesn't have the sword right now out or anything right now. He also has gloves, as you mentioned. This is where, he has fingerless gloves, and this is where Issei says, "I'm here, Rias." This is where he bows down, very kind of polite and gentleman-like. This is where Soya, the kind of vice president, Rias, and every other girl kind of says, "What?" This is where Grace says, "I am here, Rias. Are you ready to start?" This is where Rias says, yes. This is where she realizes, wait, no, just before she could even say anything, Grace kind of starts the match, and this is where everyone is now in the match except for Soya, and they already left, but they were kind of blushing, and what they look at Issei. Issei was a little bit taller and also kind of, how should I say, much more buff and ripped, but you couldn't really see it because of the coat. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei said, so what are we doing? This is where, well, Ria said, all right, the plan. This is where she goes on with the plan, and of course, the where, well, she tells, well, what's it called? Kyoko, and also what's it called? Kiba, to kind of go set up traps, while Anaka kind of tries to hide them up. And of course, the where, well, they want to do that. And that's where, well, Ria's kind of glances at, what's it called, Asia, and then glares at Issei. That's where, well, Issei seems to have an emotionless face. This is where, well, she kind of went her eyes. Still, that grayish hair, that whitish hair mostly, is actually one of the most beautiful colors, but still, the brownish hair that he usually has is sad, but there's barely any highlights right there. This is where, well, she then says, okay, Issei, I need you to come over here and, like, lay on my legs. Issei, he just sits next to her. That's where Ria says, hello? That's where Issei says, I'm good sitting. This is where, well, she says, fine. This is where she kind of unlocks his kind of like full potential of power. Well, she wanted to know if he just trained by himself. And when she unlocks it, a very powerful increase of magic appeared. This is where, well, she then felt it to be much more powerful than even if she trained Issei herself. That's where Issei said, I see. So this is the power that you kind of hold upon the kind of 8 pawns that you sacrifice into me. This is where Ria says, yeah. This is where, well, the others might should come back, and this is where, well, Ria's kind of told Kiba to go into the forest, Anaka to be kind of still up in the sky, while, well, Issei and, well, I forgot her name. Her name was Kaneko, and of course, this is where they go towards the gym. Now, of course, Kaneko kind of glances at Issei and notices kind of barely even looking at her. Like, Issei is barely looking at her because he doesn't even care. This is where Issei looks forward, and when they're kind of like walking to the gym, this is where, well, they kind of hide a little bit, but this is where, well, we're not even hiding. Kyoko was kind of hiding while, well, Issei walks out the gym. This is where, well, Issei said, I won't need to be hiding against weaklings like you. This is where, well, the 4 girls kind of say, huh? Oh, well, you're a cocky one. Yet we haven't seen you being in Ria's group. Who are you exactly? Me? Well, you don't need to know that because you're all gone. This is where, well, Issei, he pulls out his hand right in front of him, and this is where Issei says, Yamato. This is where a sword appears. This is where he unsheathes it a little bit before appearing behind all of them and sheathing his sword back. This is where all you hear in the background is, this is all what you hear in the background. So yeah, that's what you hear in the background. And of course, all of them were easily cut into, well, a couple of pieces. Mostly they were able to just kind of have slashes all around. But this is where even the fucking space around Issei, when he cut through that shit, broke in pieces, just fell down. That's where half the devils were just confused. Even what's it called, Soya, when they kind of noticed and says, what the fuck? That's where Issei unsummons Yamato and says, come on, Kyoko, we need to go. You need to start moving. It's where Kyoko whined her eyes. She barely even got to do anything. Issei fucking murdered all 4 of them. Basically, the announcer named Grace said, a rook and 3 other pawns has been eliminated. This is where, well, Issei says, let's go. This is where they start leaving. And this is where Kyoko tried to ask Issei about anything when they left the gym. So, of course, this is where, well, Nanaka realized that she doesn't even really need summon magic to destroy them because they were already destroyed. Like, shocking. Like, she was shocked, though. But, of course, this is where, well, she still did kind of destroy the gym, but, well, not destroy the gym entirely. But, yeah, she just let it be there because, well, they're already destroyed. They were already killed or whatever. This is where, well, they are kind of now walking. And this is where, well, Kyoko kind of says, Issei, perv. This is where Issei says, don't call me that. This is where Kyoko says, whatever. Still, what the hell did you do to them? Issei says, what do you think? I cut them down. Just like pathetic trash, they should not be in my way. This is where, well, Kyoko was kind of confused because, well, this is not the Issei that she knows because Issei's pervert and all that. But this Issei seems to be cold-blooded and doesn't give a fuck. But yeah, this is where Kyoko says, "Huh, okay, interesting. Well." Then she looks up and says, well, she doesn't look up. This is where a lightning strike, well, mostly some attack was about to hit her to kind of eliminate her. But this is where before she even gets eliminated, something happens. Issei says, Mirage Blades. This is where Mirage Blades appear around him, stabbing basically the queen. The queen actually got stabbed, and this is where she says, ow. She was right now in the mid-air. And that's where Issei wasn't even looking at her, and she was already gone. This is where she uses the Phoenix Tears and all that to get her stamina back and even her health. This is where she says, I'm not giving up. This is where Issei says, you're not giving up. I see. Then this should be something that should destroy you in an instant. Issei kind of said. This is where Issei, with this point, he mostly kind of like pulls something from his back. This is where he pulls out a revolver with two kind of barrels. And that's where he aims it at the queen and says, Blue Rose, motherfucker. He shot 2 bullets from it, and they shot the queen, one in the head and then one in the kind of chest. This is where, yeah, you know, one in the head, fuck it. Or not in the head, mostly one in the chest and the other one kind of almost hitting the heart, but mostly hitting a idle pressure point or something. This is where the queen actually was destroyed. This is where Riser kind of got worried. He said, what? How? This is where, the queen was eliminated. This is where Issei puts the gun back. And this is where Issei says, let's keep moving then. This is where, mostly, Kyoko kind of just confused. With Issei pulling out a fucking gun. Like, he didn't give a fuck. He pulled that bitch out and just shot her down. This is where, Issei puts it back into his coat. And mostly behind him. This is where Issei starts walking away. This is where, Issei meets up with what's it called, Kiba, and Kiba says, so who eliminated the queen? That's where Issei says, the queen, who do you think? Anaka. This is where, Kiba says, that is true. This is where, Kyoko was just shocked because no, the queen did not eliminate her. No, bullshit. Issei is just bullshitting right there. And this is where, Kiba says, okay, let's keep going. This is where, when they keep going, and of course, yes, this time the rook for Rias is not dead, so of course she's there. This is where, Rias kind of tells them to kind of go do a surprise attack, and kind of tells Anaka to kind of help them out. This is where, Rias said that she's going to go over there to surprise attack, Ryder, or whatever. This is where, they all kind of nodded, and Issei didn't actually complain this time. This is where Issei says, okay. This is where, Issei saw all the leftover, what's it called, palms, or mostly the palms, the kind of knights, the, what's it called, others, and yeah, I don't remember all of the chess pieces, but yeah. This is where, the girl with kind of like blondish hair, having like a mouth in her, and of course, talking shit and all that. And this is where Issei kind of saw the remaining kind of people and all that. And this is where, she says, it seems that all of Rias' palms and other things are alive. Mostly, she doesn't say palms, mostly servants. This is where she says, she isn't going to be able to defeat any of us. I'm so surprised the queen managed to die. It seems the queen of Rias managed to defeat her. This is where Naka says, I wasn't the one to defeat her. This is where everyone, mostly Kiba was confused because it said that Issei was the one to tell him who defeated the queen. And clearly Issei lied about that. This is where, when the other the opposite team was confused when the queen wasn't to eliminate the queen, this is where they glance at the others. This is where Issei sighs, and this is where Issei says, okay, maybe if I do this, but I don't want to do it. Should I? Fuck it. This is none other than to do it. This is where Issei kind of goes into the middle and says, I need more power. This is where, he then launches a magical power around him, going into double trigger right now. Now his double trigger just kind of looks like this. So this is what double trigger kind of looks like. It's supposed to be kind of like an aura, but for Virgil it looked like this, but yeah. Issei is now in double trigger, and this is where he pulls out his, still has Yamato in his, left hand, and does kind of like unsheaths and pulls it out. This is where he then summons our rebellion. This is where he says, "You're all dead." This is where Issei disappears in an instant and reappears, well, back in his spot. This is where all the other palms are right now cut into a million pieces. This is where they all kind of disappear. This is where the blonde-haired girl was confused and shocked. She felt the demonic power that Issei has. Issei glares at, well, mostly glances at the girl, with his eyes being as cold as any other person. This is where Issei walks up to her and saying, "It seems that I didn't kill you on purpose. Well, I didn't kill you on accident. Good, because guess what? You might be one of the children of Phoenix, but it doesn't matter against the Devil Slayer. And I'm a descendant of that Devil Slayer. So be gone." This is where Issei cuts her, mostly cuts her into her kind of like, kind of chest, and mostly kind of just did a slash, and this is where she was unable to even use the Phoenix Teardrop because Issei kind of took it away from her. In an instant, he did a lot of things so fast. His speed and power just improved a lot. This is where Kiba and the others couldn't even react fast enough. Issei gets out of Double Trigger and walks away. This is where Issei says, "What are y'all looking at? We gotta go help Rias." Rias is right now trying to attack, well, Razor and Ryder, and Ryder was shocked to believe that his other, well, chess pieces were already destroyed. He was angry and confused. He said, "How?" This is where when Rias managed to kind of see his mostly her servants appear. This is where Issei was right now in front. Issei said, "Hey, I can't believe your fucking chess pieces were that weak against, well, me." This is where, well, Ryder says, "And who are you supposed to be? You're no family. You have no family. You're no one. You're basically just a low devil ranker." Issei kind of grins for the first time and just started bursting in laughter. This is where Issei said, "Oh, sorry, but let me ask you a question. Do you know who, well, the original king from 10,000 years was? The Devil King." This is where the Riser says, "I don't fucking know. Why should I care? Do you know his right-hand man?" "No." "Well, that right-hand man of the original Devil King was named Sparda. And my full name isn't Issei, Issei says, "My full name isn't Issei Hyodo. My full name is Issei Sparda. I am basically the descendant of the Dark Knight, the one who was able to stop his legion of army. And I'm also a descendant of his two other children, Dante Sparda, Virgil Sparda, Nero Sparda, his grandson. I'm the great-great-grandson of his. And for being that, I am much powerful than you can ever fucking be. You 72 pillars, or, well, now into 3 pillars, doesn't matter. My power outrises anyone. And let me show you what I mean." That's where Issei says, "Sin Devil Trigger." This is where an explosion of magic, of demonic magic appears. Instead of being like a reddish color or anything, it's a bluish, like very bluish greenish color right now exploding around Issei. Issei's Devil Trigger kind of looks like, well, Sinful Devil Trigger kind of looks like Virgil's, but yeah. This is how Issei's Double Trigger looks like, but instead of being just blue, it's also green, but yeah. But there's still black around him, so it's like an armor a little bit. That's where Issei's demonic magic is much powerful and stronger than even Rias, Riser, or even Soya's combined together. This is where the other devils who were actually watching this were shocked. Soya was shocked. She was already shocked with the Double Trigger that Issei shown and easily took out the other like chess pieces, but also just shocked right now in Sin Double Trigger. Issei right now is holding Yamato. That's where Issei said, "You're dead." This is where Issei kind of just moved his thumb towards his like chin and all that. This is where, well, not chin, mostly neck. This is where across it, but yeah. This is where, well, Razor says, "I'm not scared of you." He's right now shitting bricks. Razor is right now shocked with the magical power. Issei says, "Oh, you should be scared. Even if you're immortal, the sword that I have right now in front of me and holding is called Yamato. Yamato, the blade that can cut through anything. Any blade, anything at all. And so with that, I will be able to cut you in half. Doesn't matter, I will be even able to hurt your soul into half." This is where, well, Razor's trying to say, "Oh no, you might be just bluffing. I don't believe that at all. There's no sword such thing like that. No god has ever mentioned any blade like that." Well, you might be wrong about it. Well, it's time for me to wipe you out. You pathetic, brainless fire chicken. This is where, well, Razor says, "Whatever, you won't be able to defeat me." This is where Issei right now just blasts forward. This is where, well, Razor's right now summoning out fire wings, but this is where Issei appears right in front of him, and this is where, well, Issei grabs him from the shoulder and just split off one of his arms, like just cutting that shit in half. This is where, well, he just took off, well, Razor's kind of like left hand arm, and this is where Razor is screaming because he can't heal it. This is where he then looks up towards Issei. Issei just kicks him, just right now launching him to buildings, crushing down. This is where, well, Razor tries to get up, but he can't heal his arm. Even with the flames, they're trying to heal it, but of course it seems to be just denied. He's scared. He believes now that he's able to be killed. This is where Issei appears saying, "Oh, don't look too pathetic. You're fighting against, you should be grateful. You're fighting against the descendant of Sparta. You shouldn't be too down on yourself. You shouldn't be like that." This is where, well, Razor gets up and says, "You think I'm scared of you?" This is where Issei fucking kicks him in the face, launching his ass right now up in the sky. Razor is right now up in the sky, right now just coughing up blood. This is where, well, he's also bleeding from his nose. His eyes are white. This is where Issei appears right, well, mostly above him in such high speed. Issei says, "So, do you give up finally?" That's right. Razor says, "Screw you." Issei says, "Well, it seems to, for you that I can kill you instantly. You seem to already realize that you can't regenerate your arm. That means if I pierce you with this sword, either in your chest hitting a vital organ, or your heart killing you off, or even your head, you're dead. Do you choose death or do you give up?" Razor says, "You wouldn't kill it." This is where Issei says, he plunges the sword into his heart as hard as he can, launching Razor down to the ground, or right, or whatever his goddamn name, and just smash him into the ground. He is shot. His eyes started going blank white while he dies. This is where Issei says, "Don't be too foolish on yourself. You're only a devil. You're nothing special. You're not even close to my power. I'm in Sin Devil Trigger. What do you expect? My power arises when I'm in this form." You're an idiot. That's where Issei took the sword out of his heart in an instant. And that's where Issei says, "But I shouldn't let you just leave. I should make those people that are supposed to heal you have to take forever in taping, or right now putting your body into, well, trying to put your body back to whole, because they're gonna take years." That's where Issei, he swung his blade once towards Razor, but it looks like he swings it once, but Ryder's body right now just cuts into a million pieces. This is where before he dissolves and disappears to be healed. This is where the nurses were kind of just shocked and horrified. This is where, well, Issei says, "Pathetic. Don't stand in my way." This is where Issei gets out of Double Trigger and right now puts what's it called, or mostly sent for Double Trigger. He mostly puts Yamato back into a sheath. Pathetic, I say. No way in hell you will be able to go against a Dark Knight Descendant. You're just pathetic. That's where Issei, he kind of looks to the side of him and sees his, well, whole group still standing there and just shocked. Ria's face is horrified. The fact that Issei just did something like this. Just murdered the son of the Phoenix. And without giving a goddamn fuck. Sir Zex right now is looking at the screen. His face seems to be very worried. If there's a Dark Descendant Knight, he knows what Sparta is. He knows what that is exactly. The name. All the other Devil Kings, mostly from the other kind of households. Like, what's it called? The Grimmers family, the, what's it called? Phoenix family, and the kind of other family from Soya kind of looks worried also. They know what what's it called, Sparta is. The Sparta is those who hunt devils. Those devils who are evil. But mostly hunts the devils of, well, the army and the legion of, well, what's it called, mundane. So of course, hearing that Rias managed to get a servant, and no, not just a normal servant, a servant that does have the red kind of armor thing, but they haven't really seen that during this battle, but has basically the power of Sparta running through his body, and of course, mostly through his blood. They look worried. This is where, well, they realize that Rias isn't going to get married when her kind of just pawn is basically the strongest person in her team. They seem very worried. This is where, well, Issei puts his sword away and then just kind of like flies towards Rias' kind of group. Now his wings aren't as black, they're actually blue, mostly blue and green, and this is where he appears right next to Rias' team, saying, "It seems that we're done." Well, so look at that. It seems that Razor's team has realized that they're too pathetic against Sparta. How about that? This is where Rhea says, "Issei, what did you do?" "What do you mean what I did?" "What do you think I did? I used demonic magic." This is where she says, "No, that was, but what did you do exactly?" "Oh, Rias, if only you knew about me exactly. You might have thought that I was only a human user of the sacred gear called Red Dragon. Oh, that's slowly kind of not truly true. I'm a descendant of the warrior, the Dark Knight of, well, a Devil King's army of 10,000 years ago. That Dark Knight was called Sparta. Sparta was able to defeat the devil army from him just betraying them, from the fact that that devil army legions wanted to take out the human world. He destroyed the Devil King by sealing him away. He had also 2 sons that were very powerful and able to send Devil Trigger. Also, one of them had a son, was also very powerful. And now look at me, I'm basically their great descendants. Three greats of descendants from them. Look at that. So, Rias, it seems that, well, you're no longer needed to marry anyone. Unless you want to marry a guy that's mostly made out of pieces." I crack myself up way too much. So Rias, she then just kind of runs up to him and hugs him. That's where Issei is still on the ledge, I should mention. Well, near the ledge. This is where Issei widened his eyes. That's where Rias is hugging him, saying, "Thank you, but still, you're crazy." Issei says, "Sei's the one who fucking just threw us off the ledge." This is where Issei right now activates his wings, and this is where Rias did the same. But Issei is right now flying up. This is where Issei says, "You're crazy. Jesus Christ, did you not notice the ledge that I was on? It was still very slippery and crazy of you to kind of do that." This is where Issei kind of tries to scold at her, but this is where Rias says, "But at least you could just fly." This is where Issei says, yeah. This is where, well, we go into kind of a festival, but also a funeral, but fuck it. This is where, well, the kind of noble devils were actually scared of Issei when Issei was there. And of course, Issei was still wearing his clothing, like still badass clothing, but yeah. But of course, this is where, well, Rias was in her kind of nicest outfit also. She wasn't in that dress and all that. And of course, this is where, well, when they kind of noticed Sir Zex Lucifer, this is where they all kind of say, "Sir Zex Lucifer." This is where some of them all bow down, but yeah, mostly all of them. I say some because Issei didn't bow down. He said, "Fuck that shit." And Rias didn't do it neither, but yeah, well, kind of. This is where Sir Zex kind of noticed Issei, just like not doing that shit. This is where Sir Zex walks up to Issei and says, "Ah, hello there. You must be Issei Sparta then." This is where, well, some of the nobles are actually shocked to actually hear that, well, Sir Zex seems to approve of that boy, who they actually think is a lower rank. That's where, well, Sir Zex says, "I heard that Sparta was a very powerful, and I say powerful Dark Knight that was able to betray the Devil King that tried to go into the human world. And from your skills, you don't look too bad yourself." Exactly. You're very powerful, I say. Issei say, yeah. What exactly do you want? Also, is Ria's not going to get married to any marriage? Because I don't want her to do that. I'm her pawn and I must protect her. Yes. You're her pawn. Let me ask you a question, Issei. Do you still want to be a servant, or do you want to become your own, what's it called? Own user of the evil, mostly evil pieces? Issei thinks about it and says, fuck it. I want to just still be a pawn. That, and I just don't want to be bothered with kind of being, how should I say, bothered with stuff. But yeah, pretty much Rias doesn't really bother me with that much stuff. Unless I gotta go get fucking contractors. But whatever, I just force him to do it. This is where Zersex kind of says, oh, interesting. Rias hears it and says, what? No, you're not supposed to force him to do something like that. Don't worry. Issei kind of just waves her off and says, I'm not gonna, whatever you're thinking, I'm not gonna do. This is where she sighs. I'm about to use my sword to their neck and say, sign the contract or die. This is where, Rias says, Issei, no, that's not. This is where Issei says, what? That's not something I'm supposed to do. She starts kind of just complaining to her Issei by kind of moving her hands up and down and kind of just screaming at Issei. Issei kind of just ignores her most of the time, but says, whatever. I can do whatever I want, right? I'm a devil. I think so. Well, I'm a devil descendant of a knight. But I still can't hurt humans. But luckily for me, I'm a descendant from Virgil, and Virgil didn't really care about anything. This is where, Rhea still complains and says, no. This is where, while Cersei is seeing this and thinking it's kind of cute for them to kind of get along with each other, this is where, Cersei kind of says, I see. Well, I want to ask you another question. Do you want to take Rhea's in marriage? This is where Rhea kind of blushes. Issei kind of looks at this and then thinks about it and says, nah, I don't want to force her into any marriage. This is where Rhea winds her eyes. This is where Issei is still very caring and doesn't really want to force her with anything stupid of like marriage or anything. This is where, she winds her eyes. It starts kind of crying. This is where, Issei says, hey, why are you crying? Did I say anything wrong? This is where, Cersei kind of winds his eyes, seeing that Issei seems to be still very caring to Rhea. This is where, he then says, what about any other girl, like a marriage? Do you want any of that? That's where Issei says, no. Besides, I'm a dark descendant knight. I'm going to try to find someone strong enough to hold the children of the Dark Knight. Besides, I'm not gonna let the blood, or mostly the descendant blood of Sparda, just go down and drain. That's the way. Cersei says, I see. Well, and you're not gonna tell me because I feel like you don't want to tell me. Exactly. This is where, Rhea is kind of shocked, but yeah, she feels like she needs to get stronger because, Issei was mostly the one to kind of protect her, but yeah. This is where, Rhea kind of said, oh. This is where, Cersei said, so Rhea, it seems that you won't be able to marry, what's it called? A Riser Phoenix, and I know you didn't wanna. So, of course, your marriaging is right now off the hook, but yeah. So, be happy. This is where, Rhea's kind of just smiles, and this is where Issei also smiles, but yeah. This is where, Cersei says, whatever. You two should probably start going. This is where, Issei and Rhea's kind of just look at him confused. This is where Cersei kind of goes outside and summons out a, griffin. The griffin kind of just screeches over, but yeah. This is where Issei says, oh, that's a griffin. This is where Rhea says, griffin. This is where Cersei says, yeah, you two can go leave now. This is where, Issei says, sweet, I want to go home and take a nap. I'm tired. The whole draining energy of using Sparta's, power really sucks. This is where, Issei gets on. This is where Rhea also gets on, but yeah. This is where, they're flying. And this is where, Issei is thinking to just go sleep, but also want to keep training on his power because, yes, it did drain him a lot of power. Yes, even going into Sin Double Trigger, that was the worst thing for him to do because he would have collapsed any time. Yes, he was already for the verge of collapsing, falling down and just smashing his head, but yeah. During the fight of him being up in the air in the battle stab, what's it called, Riser up, melting his heart, Issei was a good chance to just, get out of Double Trigger, Sin Double Trigger, because it was running through his stamina so fast. This is where he knows it's a bad idea to go into Sin Double Trigger, but he didn't give a shit that much. He wanted to be badass, like what's it called? His descendant, well, mostly not his descendant, mostly his like ancestor, his great grandfather, named Virgil. But yeah, of course, this is where Issei says, well, we're fine on it, Griffin. Hope I don't crash this. This is where Ria says, yeah, you won't be able to crash it. It flies on its own, don't worry about it. Issei says, yeah. This is where Issei feels really tired. This is where Issei says, this is where Ria says, are you okay? This is where Issei says, yeah, I'm just tired. Really tired. Really fucking tired. Okay, if you want to know something, me fighting against Riser in my form, yeah, that destroyed all my stamina. This is where Ria says, idiot. This is where she kind of like punches him in the chest, and this is where she kind of feels, well, first of all, he's not that like skinny or anything like, well, original canon. He has muscles. That's where Ria's face becomes red a little bit. That's where Issei says, what are you doing? That's where, well, Ria says, nothing. But still, Issei, that's where, well, she kind of leans in closer to try to kiss him and all that. Issei says, what are you doing? That's where Ria says, no, what do you think? That's where, well, Issei said, leaning in if I'm trying to have wounds and all that. That's where Ria says, no, you idiot. That's where she kind of just grabs him and just kisses him. That's where Issei kind of widens his eyes, but yeah. That's where Issei says, what was that for? I thought you wanted to have your first with someone that you love. Ria says, I do love you, idiot. Why didn't you just accept the marriage proposal? That's where, well, Issei kind of says, well, I don't know. I didn't know if you really want to still be with me when I murder Riser in cold blood. That's where he said kind of quietly, and that's where Ria still heard him and says, idiot. I don't care about him. What I care was for you to be okay, not for you to kind of go off and murder someone. Yeah, they're fine. I think he's fine. Probably. I don't know. He's probably not. No shit, he's not. He's dead. Issei said, uh-huh. Not my problem. But of course, this is where, well, Ria sighs and says, you idiot. This is where they get back to the house. And of course, this is where Ria decides to ask, what's it called, the parents of Issei, if, well, she can live there. That's where her right now crying and saying, Issei's going to have enough grandbaby for us. That's where Issei says, Jesus fucking Christ. God damn it. Now, of course, this is where, well, mostly Issei's parents seem to not really care about Issei's whitish hair and his, like, newish blue eye, but yeah. This is where they think that Issei kind of looks great, but they're saddened about his brown hair and one, well, blue eyes just changing his, well, green eye, but to blue. That's where they say, I knew it was a terrible idea to let you go off to Davante's house. Fuck, why did we let that happen? That's where Issei says, don't mention anything about my uncle. That's where, well, Ria's kind of heard this and says, uncle. That's where Issei says, oh, sorry. During the 10 training days of, like, yeah, training, instead of going with you because I didn't know if you were gonna help me out with training, I decided to go out, well, mostly go and find my uncle. I found his house, he helped me out in training, and yeah, he changed my hair. Don't worry. Is it permanent? Yes. My hair will start changing while getting rid of the leftover brown highlights and my last green eye to go blue. This is where, well, Ria says, but I like your green eyes and your brown hair. But I do like your white hair and your blue eyes. Can you at least, like, keep it? This is where Issei says, I mean, there's no other way. Probably. I don't actually know how much Sparta blood I have. But that doesn't matter. Well, other than that, Issei does remember when he was, like, talking to, well, his uncle. Basically, what they did is awaken what's it called, Issei's, like, bloodline of the Sparta by stabbing rebellion, well, mostly a rebellion into his chest. This is where Issei, he managed to awaken it. And of course, since he became a full devil, the Sparta bloodline is, well, fully taken over the devil, like, power and all that. And he is now 100% Sparta. He still looks human, but yeah. Of course, that happens, and this is where, well, Issei is going to start having, like, whitish hair, like, fully with blue eyes, but yeah. Or maybe we should keep it. I don't fucking care. This is where, well, Issei kind of says, yeah, I don't know. This is where, well, Ria says, maybe you should take me to see your uncle. That's where Issei says, yeah, no, yeah, that's never gonna happen. That's where Ria says, she pouts and says, why not? I don't think you really want to see him. He's a dirty old man. It doesn't work well. Issei does remember seeing what's it called his uncle's what's it called? Well, just library. There was a library full of books of like the Sparta family, and then the other side was just full of well plus 18 stuff. This is where he says, "God damn, why do you have so much?" This is where well, Devante says, "Hey, you know when you get lonely, you're gonna have to." This is where Issei says, "I don't need to. I no, I don't. I don't need to. No, fuck off." But Issei really stopped being a pervert after kind of getting trained with well, what's it called, Uncle. Since he's now a full devil, he mostly is still a little bit of pervert, but not much. He barely shows that most of the time. He's kind of mostly stoic as like Virgil, but yeah. But this is where well, Ria says, "So you're not gonna show me towards your uncle?" "Yeah, no, fuck that." This is where Issei kind of puts his hands together and do an X motion, but yeah. This is where well, Ria pouts and says, "Wow, mean." This is where well. Ria's kind of like lives with him, but yeah. Of course, the next day happens, and of course they're going to school, but yeah. Of course, it worked well. They kind of like bring the like other what's it called like servants into Issei's house, but yeah. This is where well, Kiba still kind of gets that picture that what's it called had what's it called the Excalibur and the girl in it, but yeah, and Issei in it. This is where well, Kiba says, "Hey, well, mostly not." To Issei, mostly Issei kind of sees what Kiba's holding it. Issei kind of says, "You're probably looking at the sword. The sword, I don't know where it is exactly, but you seem to be focusing on the sword. Or unless you were focusing on me, which that's kind of gay, man. And I was a kid at that time. Weirdo." This is where Kiba says, no, I wasn't thinking. I was asking the sword, yeah. This is where Issei says, "Yeah, the sword I have no clue it will be at. But I can tell that it would have been powerful. Even when I was a child, I still sense his energy." This is where Kiba winds his eyes. This is where Kiba says, "Then why did you become so perverted?" I guess being a human boy, that did happen. And besides, my uncle's also the same thing. Even though he's like half a Spartan, like human at the same time. Don't worry. It's kind of weird and odd. He has a book, well, a library full of, well, the family and all that. And the other side, I'm not getting into that shit. That was just shocking. This is where, well, Issei just says, nah. Okay, but yeah, I don't actually know where the sword's at. This is where Kiba nodded. This is where they still go on to kind of kill a double strike. This is where Issei easily cuts it down in half. Mostly in, what's it called? Yeah, half from its head towards down all the way to its body, but yeah. This is where, well, the double was gone, but yeah. Issei managed to also just ignite it with blue flame. Demonic magic, sparks of blue flames. This is where it was a demonic magic. I don't think, well, no, I'm just giving them mostly Sparta to be able to use blue flames. Oh no, blue flames look really fucking dope. Of course, this is where, well, Ria says, "I guess that's good enough. You didn't let me kill them." This is where Issei says, "I'm a devil hunter. I can do whatever." This is where Ria says, yeah. The blood of Sparta runs through you. Yeah. I don't care. This is where Issei pouts and says, "Wow, you're so mean. For being a grandma, you're really meanie." This is where Ria says, yeah. This is where, well, she was about to slap, what's it called, Kiba for the fact that he was not paying attention to. This is where Issei kind of blocks her hand. And this is where Issei says, "Hey, Rias, wanna go to my house or not?" This is where Rias kind of blushes and says, "Why?" "Well, I'm hungry." This is where Issei kind of just like, kind of hold his stomach and he is starving. This is where Rias kind of smack her head and says, "You idiot." This is where, well, Rias says, "Yeah, I'll be there until..." This is where Issei says, "So Kiba, why were you like spacing out?" This is where Kiba says, nah, nothing." This is where, well, he walks away, but yeah. This is where Issei says, "He has something hiding. Interesting." This is where, well, Ria still was trying to slap Kiba, but still, Issei was the one to block that. He noticed what Kiba was doing, but of course, since Issei is much faster than Kiba thanks to the fact that he's now a full double slayer, mostly bloodline of Sparta. Yeah, that happens. He's much faster, but yeah. This is where, Issei kind of like tells Rias and yada. This is where, well, they go to kind of do that, but this is where Issei says, "I'll be real fast. I need to go do something." That's where Issei kind of finds where what's called. Well, Kiba's at. Kiba's right now fighting against that crazy fucking priest named Frank. I don't remember. That's where Frank says, "Die, you devil!" That's where Issei appears, kicking that motherfucker down to the ground. That's where Issei's legs had what's it called, like this kind of arm around it. Yeah, it's one of the double arms. He has what's it called this right now. I forgot what it's called, but he has a double arm right now. Well, it's not a double arm, but yeah. Issei says, "Sup, bitch." That's where, well, the priestess says, "Huh? You? Who the hell are you?" Issei says, "Me? Well, I'm your worst nightmare. I'm basically the one who's gonna kick your ass." Or let Kiba do it instead. Kiba, right? Kiba says, "Move out of my way." Kiba rushes at what's it called, towards what's it called, what was his name? Yeah, I don't remember. Crazy Priest. This is where Kiba, he tries to attack the sword and all that. And this is where the person realizes, "Oh, I need to be going. Bye." This is where Issei appears right in front of him, axing him down to the ground, saying, "Where do you think you're going? It's bad enough for you to leave. You know what? That's really bad. I don't want you to leave." This is where, well, the guy's like, "Ugh, you bastard. I'm not giving up. I have the sword. You can't stop me." Those are what Issei says. "Really? I can't stop you." This is where he says, "Yamato." This is where, well, he pulls out the katana, and this is where, well, before he even cuts what's it called, the person, this is where, well, Kiba says, "Stop, Issei. I want to do this." This is where Issei says, "Fine. Do it. If you can't kill him, I kill him in an instant." This is where Kiba says, "Fine." He still rushes towards what's it called, the priest, but the priest managed to do a flash bomb, and this is where he blind Kiba and Issei, because Issei realized, fuck. This is where he's like, "Oh, my eyes, the mother." This is where Issei winds his eyes and realizes he's gone. This is where Kiba says, "Damn it." Issei says, "Why weren't you faster? Damn it. I should have realized this." "Well, come on, Kiba." Kiba kind of ignores him. This is where Issei says, "If you don't come along with me, I'm going to drag you along, knocked out, and both of your legs broken." This is where Kiba says, "Then do it." This is where Issei knocks him out, clocks him in the face, and he's knocked out. But yeah. This is where Issei puts him near what's called building so he can take a fucking nap for a while. And then kind of like leave him a message saying, "Fucking chill." This is where, well, Issei got back home, and this is where, well, Rias and Aisha looks kind of angry at him and where he was at. Issei says, "Well, I can explain. I went to the store, I got lost, and then I came back, and then, getting lost, I met some green-haired dude that I asked for directions, and I got more lost. And then I found this buried treasure, and then it was called a One Piece. I have no clue what that was, but I did bring it back." This is where Issei kind of has like a bag full of treasure and all that. This is where Rias and, well, he just says, "How?" This is where, well, Issei says, "That would be the last time I ever take directions from a green-haired dude." So yeah. Basically, he's talking about Zoro. Yes, Zoro appeared there out of nowhere and just said, "Sup." Because Zoro got lost again. God son of a bitch. But yeah. But of course, well, the next day kind of follows. And of course, well, Soya does kind of talk to Rias about, well, some people wanting to come like that, like from the church and all. From the church. And of course, they do show up at Rias's kind of research, well, called the research club or whatever. This is where, well, they kind of told Rias to not get in their way because they're looking for the mostly the 3 other Excalibur pieces and blah blah blah. This is where, well, they did tell her off, and this is where the blue hair still talks to Asia pretty bad. And this is where Issei appears. Well, no. Mostly, Issei and Asia did show up at the house the other day. And of course, met these 2 people from the church. This is where when the orange hair girl kind of says, "Hey, Issei, it's me." This is where when she looks at Issei has white and brown highlights with 1 blue eye and 1 green eye. That's where Issei says, "Who the fuck are you?" This is where, well, Issei's mom says, "Don't be rude." This is where she throws like a book at Issei. Issei grabs the book and says, "Huh? Oh, sorry about that." This is where, well, Issei says, "So you're that girl from that picture? I thought you were a dude. Damn. What a shame. I thought I was gonna get to fight him." This is where Issei says, "Whatever, I'm going to sleep." Aisha says, yeah. And she follows Issei, but yeah. This is where, well, Aisha seems nervous around them, and Issei didn't notice, but yeah. When the next day happens, and of course that girl did kind of tell, what's it called, Aisha, she's a witch. Issei appears saying, you know, it's rude enough to call someone a witch. Sorry about that. This is where, well, the blue-haired girl says, and are you going to stand up about her? This is where, well, Issei says, I'll kill you in an instant if you keep telling, well, my friend who's a witch. This is where the girl says, oh, are you going to fight me about it? This is where Issei says, maybe. This is where, well, Kiba says, I'll be the one fighting you. This is where, well, Kiba says, I am your superior or whatever. And this is where, well, they go on with the fight. And this is where the fight continues on. Mostly Kiba is fighting against the blue-haired girl. And of course, this is where Issei fights against his old, very old friend. That's where she says, oh, I'm going to have to kill, well, not kill my friend, I'm going to have to beat up my friend. I'm so sad he became a devil, blah, 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 blah. This is where she pulls out a katana and says, well, you're going to have to lose against me. Issei says, well, at least I know you're a fighter for katana. Good to know. Yamato. This is where Yamato appears, and this is where Issei pulls out the katana, saying, whatever, let's fight then. This is where, well, she says, good. This is where both Issei and her fights, and mostly she tries to, like, swing her sword, and this is where Issei, he just dodges it. But yeah, this is where Issei, he swings his sword down, and this is where she was about to block it, but when she blocks it, the sword just gets cut in two, and she gets sliced, mostly slashed from her kind of left shoulder towards her kind of right waist. But yeah, this is where she whined her eyes. Her sword was cut in an instant. Excalibur was just cut. This is where the blue-haired girl whined her eye. I think her name was Zenixia or whatever, I forgot. But of course, this is where, well, she then say, no! This is where, well, she tries to attack Issei. Issei cuts a bit of Excalibur off, mostly the blade. Now, this is where, well, she whined her eyes. She say, what is that sword? Issei says, this is called Yamato. The blade to be able to cut any blade. You might have heard about it, but I guess it was lost in history about it. This blade can only be held by Sparda, the Dark Knight of the Underworld. 10,000 years he lived. He lived ago, but yeah. That's where, well, she kind of grits her teeth and says, you bastard. Issei then goes towards the blade, mostly the cut blade. And that's where she appears trying to attack Issei. That's where Issei punches her in the stomach and knock her out the limit. She goes, you bastard. Issei says, shut up for a second. The blade can still be repaired. I cut it into, well, a clean slice. Meaning that it can still be forged to be, well, be made back. Don't be too stupid about it. You can basically put it back just using holy magic. This is where, well, the orange hair girl like, oh shit, is that really true? This is where Issei says, no, you're not saying anything of that bullshit. I'm not trying to get ahead, and you with the blue hair. Next time, try to attack me. Make sure to swing the sword much more faster than your opponent can punch you in the stomach. Well, other than that, I should be putting my blade away. Yamato. This is where he puts the blade back into the sheath and just tells Yamato to disappear. But yeah. Issei says, you really suck with using large swords. Unless you want to fight me with a large sword, because I did have Yamato, and it is a katana. This is where the girl says, I guess I'm gonna have to fight you. This is where Issei says, fine, if you want to fight me, I'll fight you. This is where he pulls out Dante's sword. Now, Dante's sword is, well, not Dante's sword, he calls out Red Rose. This is where Red Rose, he appears with it. Now, it's a sword that is basically Nero's sword, and it's large, it's like a big sword and all that, and he rushes out with a girl. This is where they clash, and this is where she winds her eyes. It's not cut. It's not cutting her blade. Issei said, you were expecting my blade to be able to cut your blade. Well, not really. So, suck it. This is where Issei punches her in the face. This is where she's right now launched to the ground and right now saying, you bastard. This is where Issei says, what? You weren't expecting a punch to the face? Seriously, how are you supposed to be some holy warrior when you can't even expect me not to punch in the face? Do you want me to heal you? She says, I don't need your holy, dark, demonic magic. Okay, it doesn't really affect humans to turn them into demons. This is where, well, she just shot a glare at Issei. Issei kind of just says, whatever, well, I'll be going. Issei puts the sword away into a dimension, but yeah. That's where Issei says, well, I should be going. Oh, that reminds me. I should probably kind of send a message to someone. This is where he says familiar. This is where familiar appears. A blue bird, and the blue bird looks like this. This is what they were kind of look like, but yeah, it's mostly what they looks like this. This is what it appears, mostly this blue bird, and this is where, well, Issei says, hey, I need you to pull out, give a message towards Devante. Devante, yeah. But of course, with that happening, the bird kind of like takes the message and just flies away. That's where Issei says, oh, other than that, we should probably be going. I'm hungry. This is where, well, Ria's kind of wind her eyes and say, when did you get a familiar? Huh? Oh, me and my uncle went to go get a familiar. Mostly the V familiars. Basically, it's something I can do. Don't worry about it. That was the same bird I even saw in the, what's it called, that one time we kind of saw the green slime. Why, thank you for getting rid of the green slime in my perverted thoughts, which I had a pair of familiars. Mostly they're from my, what's it called, great-great-grandfather, mostly familiar ability. Other than that, he had 3 of them, and now I have 3 of them. That's where he stick out his tongue just to be kind of cheesy, but yeah. This is where, well, Ria sighs and realizes that Issei does have 3 familiars now. This is where she says, wait, what is the other 2? This is where Issei says, oh, that's a secret. Bye. This is where, well, Ria sighs, but yeah. This is the girl like, damn. Mostly the other 2 from the churches try to hold each other up, and that's where Ria says, are you sure you don't need healing? This is where, well, they say, no, we don't. This is where they pass out, but yeah. This is where, well, Ria says, Asia says, got it. This is where, well, Issei went off to kind of go get food, but yeah. This is where, well, this is where I'm going to leave it off, but yeah. So yeah, goodbye, Chuckle Fucks. I'm going to leave it off here for 1 hour and 21 minutes, but yeah. So this is only part 1 for this. I don't know if I want to continue on. I probably fucked it up in a lot of, mostly a lot of things. And since my voice has been hurting for a while, and I've been fucking up a lot of words through my, well, sickness, I don't know if I'm either going to redo this or continue it on. But other than that, bye, Chuckle Fucks. Good night, and day or whatever, and bye.